So the intent for this test is that you would spend about 30 minutes on everything but the performance. So the first day they would do the 15 multiple choice, the 2 short responses, and the extended response. And then the second day you would do the open scene. And that performance is just an open scene with a little character analysis sheet. We give them a little more specifics with the open scene because it has to be done in 30 minutes. So we make them choose one element that they have to include just to kind of focus them a little bit more. But, you know, I'm very, for the most part, proud of this exam, only because it was modeled after all the work we did. And I didn't see a reason to kind of, obviously we didn't take anything verbatim, but we had similar things. So I think that's all I have. Looking ahead. So we're exploring the, very quickly, I was on a phone conference on Tuesday of this week with all of the arts representatives. State Education Department right now is looking at a model from Tennessee in terms of exploring arts, the growth, student growth for arts teachers that would not be as slow in the future. Obviously this would be something that doesn't help this year, but it's called a student growth portfolio. And basically it would be like an online portfolio where we would get to choose in New York State who all the experts are in all of the arts areas. We would train them to be reviewers of these portfolios. And what we would do as teachers, it reminds me at Potsdam we have something called Task Stream where the kids can do all of their lesson plans and upload everything while they're student teaching. It sounds like it's very similar to that, where we would upload examples of student work. You could do videos, music teachers, they talked about smart music and how you could use parts of smart music to show student growth, and it goes into a portfolio and then it gets reviewed that way so that we see student growth, individual and group, in a teacher portfolio. We're going to have a lot of questions on this that I probably am not going to be able to answer right away, but go ahead.
So to clarify, my understanding is that after we give these initial assessment. However, after the end of the year assessment, we are not allowed to administer that. Is that correct?
That is correct. You're not supposed to administer your own, or you're not supposed to grade or correct your own assessment.
And are we allowed to create the test?
Depends on who you talk to. Yes, the question is, can we create our own tests?
You could take what, now it's changing constantly, but in the workshop I attended, what was permissible when we asked this question, because the logistics of this is a nightmare.
Right.
So what was suggested from the BOCES representative in my region was that it would be okay if there were banks of questions, and then from the banks of questions, not the teacher whose exam it would be applied to their class, or someone else would pick from the bank of questions what the final assessment would look like. The teacher would administer that exam, and then someone else has to grade it.
That's been the basis for what I've been hearing, that that's the way that it's going to work. But I'm here to tell you that I've asked that question 3 times in my own district and gotten a different answer. Every single time I've asked it. Sure.
Then becomes many of us are islands of ourselves, entire of ourselves in our schools. So the concern for us then becomes who will be administering that exam in or creating it.
That's the question of the day. I think part of the reason, and I can't speak a lot about the student growth portfolio, but that question came up a lot about, well, who would do that? Who would create it? The idea with the student growth portfolio is that, for example, if I'm putting my information in and it's internet-based, then Kate or John could be trained and they can review that from their seats in their living room. And so we deem who the professionals are that are going to look at these. Because right now we're all stuck, because I'm thinking Jim and I are going to be having to grade each other's final things. And, we're half an hour from each other. So, same kind of thing.
We're relatively close.
Yeah. So that is the question. There's no good answer for that. There's no good answer for that.
We have a couple of other questions. Oh, okay, yeah, come around. Thank you for that presentation. I think that was very useful. Let's see, we had a hand here, yes.
Yeah, well, on that same line about being honest yourself, you know, I was speaking to my visual arts people, and, you know, they were kind of indignant about somebody else creating their papers. And I said, really, when a kid takes an ELA test, you know, the teacher doesn't administer the test, the ELA, the English department as a whole, 2 readers for every essay, that kind of thing. So it raises our level of awareness of what we do within our district, but we also have to, you know, educate our districts on this is what we do. Find somebody else that can do this so that my kids get a fair and a fair grade, you know.
Right, so this, again, this notion that we've been doing it one way for a very long time, all of a sudden we're being asked to do it much more locally. Is it possible, a possibility perhaps, from much of the reading that I've done just in reporting from the Times and other news sources, right, is that New York State has signed on with, I think, 26 other states to start to create some sort of common exams. And so is it possible that we're just sort of in a holding pattern waiting for those exams to come down from this national, all of this national work, and that after a couple of years of this, then we will be given exams like the current regents and things like that that will supplement that, and then we'll go back to the old way that we've done it. Now, if that is the case, and certainly that's not, I mean, that's my own speculation based on what I've read, then we as an organization, all of the arts organizations are going to need to ask, are they working on exams for the disciplines, or are those exams simply going to be math and English, or math, English, science, right? Again, this is information that nobody seems to have at this point.
Jay, can I just add quickly? Yeah. I can only speak from our regional BOCES and our districts, but to the grading of the tests, I know that administrators have had some training in how to grade these exams that we are not allowed to grade, but we can administer from the information that I've been given, at least consistently given. Christy and I did our regional test developments for music and theater. One of the things they wanted to make clear was how to write good questions that, knowledge-based questions like multiple choice or short answer questions had maybe 3 thought patterns to them, as opposed to, okay, there's one answer for this, or there's the multiple choice being the easiest ones to grade, of course, but that they had rigor to them, so that they would have, in order to answer the final question, they would have to know these other 2 parts to even comprehend the question. So I think that part of that is that administrators, they tried as best they could to have it be objective. But given the arts and the nature of the arts, some part of it will have to be subjective. And we were told by Todd Green at Jefferson Lewis BOCES that rubrics would be acceptable for those performance aspects.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, Liverpool is a district that did not go with BOCES and pay BOCES to be a part of this. We have sent our consultants directly to Albany, and they bring stuff back to us, and they're putting it directly in our hands. My department felt very strongly that we didn't, since we're one of the few areas